Welcome to Angel Heart Radio. I'm Annette McCoy, always delighted to be with you. And today I'm extra excited because Barry Gray is joining me. And Barry and I first worked together way back on Blog Talk Radio several years ago now. And it's really exciting to have Barry back. Thank you so much for joining me, Barry.
Hi, Annette. Thank you. You're most welcome. And it's been a long time since we've worked together. That's crazy. Don't know where the time goes.
It does.
Yeah.
It's very exciting that you're back on Angel Heart Radio. I'd like to remind everybody that these shows should never replace your legal, medical, nor professional advice, nor your own sound judgment. Today, we're talking and offering, readings that will link you with your loved ones who have departed this world. Barry, I'm very excited that you've agreed to join me because this to me is something very close to my heart in the fact that it's comforting to know that our loved ones live on and that we can have contact with them.
Yes, it is, and I think too, it helps us see life differently as well, knowing that, when it's our time to go home as well, we go back home to be with our loved ones too, so I think it's reassuring to know that they've survived this process that we call death and they've carried on in the next phase of their life, so for me, what more wonderful thing could you ask, when we know our loved ones are alive and well in the spirit world, in the wonderful part of the wonderful place, and that we will also go there when it's our time to go, so it's just a wonderful, amazing thing, it really is.
Yes, now, what I failed to say was that if people would like a reading today or have interaction with us, please go over to the Angel Heart Radio Facebook page, as Amy has done. Welcome, Amy, and thank you for joining us. Now, yes, knowing that we do live on, Barry, I know I hear this comment quite often. People talk about, oh, well, we only have one life. And I go, oh, well, in this lifetime, yes.
Yeah.
Because for me, my understanding is we have lots of different lives.
Yeah, if only people really actually knew the truth that we only have one life, this is only one life. This is one life of many, obviously. And, I think we'd be silly to think that we learn everything in one lifetime. So, that's why I truly believe that we do come back in different lives and situations, because we want to experience other things and learn and grow, because the soul wants to grow. And it can only do that by coming back into the physical world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
and I think
Elaine has joined us. Thank you, Elaine. It's lovely to have you here. I believe, Barry, Elaine had listened or watched your show with Tibet, and I must admit it was your show with Tibet that reminded me that it would be you.
Well, I'm always grateful for the opportunity to come on and do Spirit's work, and obviously work with yourself too, because you're a wonderful, warm human being, and I love working with your energy, so it's lovely.
Oh, well, thank you. It is important. I like the way that you say Spirit's work, because I feel comforted when I know that, yes, I'm living out my mission.
Yeah, and I think too, we all know, I think, to a level that when we come onto the earth plane, we've got certain strengths and weaknesses, and I think it's those strengths that we often need to focus on to get us through this life. And if things fall into place and they work really well, and you find you are good at something or you're meant to do something, then for me, I believe that the universe or spirit will always kind of provide the opportunity for us to do that. And I guess I've been very lucky in the fact of, from an early age of knowing the spirit world's always been there in some form. But as a child, you don't quite understand it at the time. And if nobody's there to explain anything, you don't kind of, you don't get it. You just think, oh, it's part of life, and maybe I'm going a bit crazy. Who knows? Because you don't know any different, sort of thing. So I guess when we do Spirit's work, or we have the opportunity to do Spirit's work, it's given us the opportunity to, I guess, fully become ourselves in that moment by doing what we're doing. and being there for other people too. So, yeah.
And we all have different missions, don't we? It's a matter of us finding what is our mission. And you found yours. Good on you.
Yeah, I've been very lucky. And I think you're right too, because, we all come on this earth plane for many, many, many different reasons. And, some come to do this work and some people don't, because maybe their life is in this journey just to experience other things in life, not necessarily the spirit work itself. But, I originally started, I guess, back in the early part as a healer. That's what I used to do. As healing more than anything. And it kind of grew from there. Like, it gave me the opportunity to heal myself while I'm helping heal other people. But also it gave me the opportunity to go into a close circle through the healing side that opened me up with the mediumship and the psychic work. So, and I guess that's where it all clicked in place for me then, that I kind of realized that, yes, that's what I do want to do as part of my life, in some way, by doing spirits work, or in every opportunity that I get to do spirits work, I'm always there to put my hand up, because that's what I really love doing. That's where my passion is,
Right.
So.
And when we work with our passion, now Amy has put her hand up, God bless her, and she said, yes, she'd love a reading. So it's Amy Leiden Selter.
Okay. Hi, Amy. Hope you're well, and it's great to see you come on the show today. And like I always tell people when we do this work, there's never any guarantee who may come through from the spirit world for you, and sometimes it might be somebody that perhaps you're not expecting to come through. So, so I can certainly see what I can do and see what I feel with spirit for you in that way. But certainly on the psychic vibration, this is more about yourself, I feel. And one of the things I certainly feel about you is that, there comes a time and a place in people's lives when we have to kind of look at what's going on around us and to start thinking about what kind of serves us and what no longer serves us too. And I kind of feel you're going through a phase at the moment of starting to think about where you want to be in your life and start making I guess, decisions based on what you feel about certain aspects of your life to start moving forward. So I certainly feel this is a time for you to start putting your plans into action and get things on the move, whether it's business and finance or home. But I certainly feel there's this sense of changes coming up for you that are going to kind of start moving you forward in a much more, I guess, more happier, lighter way. And I feel too that when you start doing that, life will start flowing much better for you and start clicking back into place. And I see that smile back on your face as you move forward, So, and as I'm kind of talking away, I get a sense of a lady that's starting to build up in the spirit world that certainly draws close to yourself. And I know this lady stands on mum's side of the family. I see sort of grey peppery hair with this lady, blue eyes in the physical sense, and somebody that certainly had quite a tough life in many respects. And I understand that back in that day, some of that generation, they certainly had sort of tough times in many ways. But this lady had a strength of character to see things through no matter what life threw at her in so many ways. And she mentions about 5 or 6. She's talking about six siblings. So I feel either she was one of 6 or she was number 7 or something like this, because she mentioned 6 other siblings in the family that go back somewhere as well. And I know this lady, when she stands there, she's got her arms folded, and it's the sense that even though towards the end of her life, she might have kind of lost a little bit of her mind in some respects, whether it's onset of Alzheimer's or that kind of thing, I feel that she was still always kind of quite sharp with her awareness, even to the day she left this world. And she also mentions before she left this world, it's like she made a promise to somebody that she would always come back in some way to let people know that she's actually okay from the spirit side, because we would have had to talk about this just before she left this world. But I just noticed she comes in with so much sense of overwhelming love for yourself when she draws close. And she's saying, I'm there for you. I just want you to sit and talk to me a little bit more, but make time to do that. And you'll find that we'll be able to communicate on a personal level with each other as well. And she takes me to a time of apple picking. I don't know what that means to you or her. Going back to all apple orchards, and it's like, I know back in the UK, we used to do that, and we would make like cider and scrumpy, we used to call it. So she takes me back to those days. So there must be a connection with this, or the farm and working on farmland, going back in the very early part of life as well, either a family connection, or also something to do with this with your grandmother in the spirit world too. And there's also a gentleman that stands beside her too, a slightly younger man that's there. And I get the sense of passing into spirit world with a condition of the lungs before he left this world. But I feel obviously that was all kind of smoke related with this man before he left, but a good man, a solid man, to a very family orientated man as well. And the name of John or Johnny keeps being called out from the spirit world. And there's also, I know everybody's got this in their family, but I have to give you the name of George also from the spirit side too. So yeah, so I hope that's okay for you, Amy. Just a little something there for you to keep you going. And I guess it is about time for change for you and putting plans into action for you as well. So I hope that makes sense.
Well, didn't Amy said that who you were speaking about was seventh?
Ah, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's nice to get the feedback, isn't it, Barry? Because I know when I was sitting circle, we were told that what we got from spirit, we had to trust implicitly. And even if, as I know, I've been on both sides, and when a message has been given to me, sometimes we're focusing on something and we're not looking it in a wider way. And when we can then reflect on a reading, it's like, oh yes, now I know what that means, or now I know who was coming through or what the message was. And so we're fortunate here because Amy, who is very, very grateful for what you have just said, can re-watch this video later and take it in again. So that's a big bonus.
It is. And I think you're right too. Like sometimes when people come for readings, and somebody comes through from the spirit world, sometimes people don't automatically kind of click to who it may be because they haven't had a connection with them for such a long time, or maybe they didn't perhaps know too much about them when they were here on the earth plane. So, and they go away and think about it, or something may just come up in a conversation with other family members, and it all just then clicks into place in some way. So sometimes it happens that way. And I like to call them those R moments where we go away thinking about it and all of a sudden we go, yeah, that's it. And everything else fits into place with that too. So and that's great because it opens people up even more, I think, when it happens.
Yeah. So I would invite anybody who would like a reading, please state that in the chat room so that we can.
Yep. And it can be psychic too, it can be more about guidance as well if they want to. It won't be too personal, obviously, but if people want that too, it's fine.
Right. Now, if people would like a personal consultation with you, Barry, how do they get in contact with you? What's the best way?
Okay, well, obviously I've got my Facebook page, Barry Gray Medium. I've also got my website, which is www.barrygraymedium.com. So it's quite easy, really, to remember. Just send me a message for either way.
Fabulous, because yes, when people do put their hand up, like Elaine just has, and saying, yes, please, we do know that, yes, this is going live on Facebook, and sometimes readings can, well, not sometimes, a one-on-one reading in the privacy of whether it be a phone consultation or places permitted in person. Of course, it can be far more personal than
that's right. And you don't want your personal information all over the place, do you? So, it's right.
And also, Barry, before we go to Elaine, and I'd also like to welcome Camilla too, who apparently is somewhere where it's afternoon. So thank you for joining us. What was too much? I've forgotten what I was going to say. Never mind. It'll come back. All right. So Elaine.
Hi, Elaine. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming onto the show, and hopefully I can give you a little bit of guidance or evidence in depending on what you may be needing at this time, or what I feel perhaps you're looking for at this time, and we'll just see what happens for you as well. Look, one of the things I'm certainly feeling about yourself is, spiritually speaking, there's a lot of light around you, which tells me that it's not just about you being very open and aware yourself, but there is this sense that you've also gone through a fair bit of trauma in your life going back in time to get you to that stage where you're starting to see things differently, or you're starting to look at life in a different sort of way. And I feel you've gone through quite a healing period in your life too. And I certainly feel on an emotional level, like we all experience things, you certainly had more than your fair share of those battles, I feel, in your life, So for me, it's that sense you've got that real strength and stubbornness that keeps you going through all those tough times and those challenging times, and keep going with that, because I feel you're starting to make headway with your life, but it's like you're starting to grow and develop yourself even more as time goes by for you. And I certainly feel on another level, spiritually speaking, there seems to be a lot of spiritual activity around you. It's like I hear, I don't know, knockings on the door, and I hear that kind of stuff around you, physical kind of evidence of spirit being very much a part of you in some respects around the home. And I feel like I've got also another lady from the spirit world that's starting to draw close to you when she's there. And she's somebody I feel that was certainly quite pushy in some respects, because she's kind of not giving up on just to try and let you know that she's never too far away from you. And she's somebody that certainly wants to let you know that even though she's been over there for a while, she's still never kind of left you in some respects, So, and I really feel like I want to say mum with this lady, because I feel she comes that close at times. She comes across with that love. That's what I feel with this lady that's there. And I feel too, when this lady steps in, she's somebody that is not going to be forceful with you, but she would certainly speak her mind if she needed to do that on the earth plane. And I just feel that she's there to say, I'm not really here to sort of tell you what to do, because I don't do that to you, because you're quite kind of independent and stubborn anyway. But I just want you to know that I'm there just to kind of sit with you when you need that sort of time to talk to somebody or to unload sometimes, because she said life can be frustrating sometimes. And with what you've been doing recently, there's been a lot of kind of frustration, a little bit of emotional turmoil around you. But just know that she's there to hold your hand when you need that as well. And wherever you sit in your home at times, I certainly see a photo of this lady quite close by. So it's somewhere where I sit quite often with this spot, and I'm looking at this photo of this lady, and there seems to be a gentleman with her also in this photo that's also there in the spirit with her as well. And also I feel of a younger lady that's starting to draw close also from the spirit world. And this lady, I feel, comes in with a sense of friendship, of mateship for you as well. And I get the sense of when she left this world, it was a cancerous condition with her, but she was a very, very tidy kind of lady that always loved the way her appearance, always focused on their appearance, being very nice, clean and tidy before she left this world. And when she left this world, it's like the sense that, my hair wasn't right at the end, because she's quite fussy about her hair. So, and I just feel she comes in to be reminded of her love for you in that sort of way. So it seems to be you've got a lot of spiritual activity around you in some way, but it's certainly family and friends, I feel, are drawing close to you at this moment, just to kind of give you a bit of comfort and to let you know that they're there supporting you with what you've been going through in recent times. And it's a sense of needing to stand your ground with somebody around you in the physical sense at this moment as well. So I hope that means something to you, Elaine, or you can understand what that's about, because obviously we don't know everything about what happens in people's lives, but it's just kind of a little bit there for you, I think, to think over in some respects. So, yeah.
Well done, Barry. I'm always amazed with how a medium can connect both worlds, and because I know those in spirit are very keen to connect. I dare say there's a lot of them lining up, hoping that people will tune in and say, yes, please, may I have a reading?
Yeah, they do. And I think too that, spirit know before we do often what's going to be going on or what we're going to be doing. So for me, they're always going to kind of get prepared for that in some sort of way. But because in the earth plane, we're kind of limited for time, obviously only a few can come through or we can connect with. And I guess sometimes they say like the best dress first in type of thing, sometimes with some spirit, or the stronger energy may want to come in. And they're the ones that I think kind of we connect with perhaps first, because we sense their energy before anybody else's, and it's that strong presence that they come in with. So, and sometimes it works that way, but who knows? Sometimes it's just random, I guess. It's not always, there's not necessarily rhyme or reason why it happens that way. It just does, I think.
Right.
And maybe it's the people that actually need the reading, that are the ones that come through first in some way. So, so
Sure.
who knows?
Well, Elaine says, thank you very much. It was her mum and sister who came through.
Okay. Yeah.
How
Yeah,
beautiful is that?
because I kind of felt with the sister, it was more like a friendship as well with that too. So it wasn't just the sister connection. I kind of feel there's more of a mateship with that too in some way, you know. So
Right. Well, we have Helen Harris who would like a reading.
okay. Cool. Hi, Helen. Hope you're well. Yep, the same again. Hopefully, I can connect with your loved ones in the spirit side, but also maybe just a little bit of guidance for yourself too, perhaps in that way. But I certainly feel very strongly when it comes to kind of guidance for your life at the moment. I see a time of kind of a little bit of chaos around you at this moment in time, and I know that life is busy for many, many people, and with all the restrictions that are going on as well. But I feel like it's much deeper than that for yourself as well. And I see very kind of tears with you at the moment too, a little bit of emotional, perhaps a little bit more of emotional challenges that are going on around you as well in some way. But I feel like it's time now also to kind of stand up to be counted. It's like standing your ground, digging your heels in and kind of saying no to people and focusing more on yourself as well. So I feel it's that time for you to really bring the energy back to yourself and focus on yourself just for a little while so you get back on your feet again. And I certainly get the sense of healing that's coming through for you from the spirit side too, on many, many different levels as well. So, and I feel too with yourself that there is this sense of, sometimes when we lose people, they go back home to the spirit world. It takes us quite a while to perhaps get back on our feet again and starting to move forward very slowly. And the reason why I say that to you is because I see a lady also coming forward from the spirit world that comes in, and I know she's there to kind of remind you and to reassure you that life does go on, and it's easy for our loved ones in spirit to say we've just got to continue with our life. But I feel this message is for you to pick yourself back up again if you're able to, slowly move forward and start smiling again in the best way that you can for yourself too. And this lady is coming forward from a spirit world, she must have loved her chocolates or something, because she's got like a whole bowl of chocolate in front of me, and it's something I think she would have loved at times, just to love her chocolate, sitting there watching TV, reading a magazine and just having her chocolate, because you'd be breaking up the squares of the chocolate bar as well, because she comes in very much like that. And I know too with this lady there was some kind of condition with her mouth or her teeth at the end as well, where there was some problem with the gums with her as well, because she shows me her teeth and it's like she doesn't want to smile because she doesn't like the way they look or the way they feel. So I don't know what that means to you, but she just comes forward and gives me that picture in my mind to pass on to you as well. And there must be a name of Eileen or Irene with this too, because this lady's calling that from the spirit world as well for you too. But I just feel that message for you today is more about yourself again, and allowing time for you to heal what's going on around you for yourself, and slowly pick yourself back up again and start moving forward, being much more kind of kind to yourself and much more I guess, it's more focused on you, I feel, is the message for you too. So I hope that means something to you, and I hope you can understand that. So, thank you for that.
Well, Barry, we have a couple more people lining up, which is really lovely, and a male as well as a female. So I love the mixed energies. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Amy has a question in the meantime.
Okay, yep.
Does anyone ever come through hoping you will give a message to someone who hasn't yet made an appearance here, if that makes sense? So are the people from spirit world lining up as there are people here?
Oh, look, I think sometimes that can happen, because sometimes I can sense like a build-up of spirit coming in close, and sometimes that could be because they're just waiting for the opportunity to come in to connect with a loved one when they come forward, So it can happen sometimes where they're there in that way, but at the same time, it's a bit like being bombarded, I guess, with spirit sometimes. It's like as soon as they see your light on, I guess, above your head, they start to think, yay, the light's on, we're ready to go. So they all kind of start building up ready, But we have our guides to try and control that a little bit too, so that they can, try and sort it out and have some kind of order over there. So we only have one connection going at a time, so then we disconnect and then the next spirit will step forward, I guess. And if we're able to connect with that spirit, and then it starts moving from there. So it can happen sometimes, in that sort of way.
Okay. So some feedback from Helen, not sure who that would be, but we'll look into it. Life is chaos for sure, though, a happy chaos.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but I certainly feel like it's a more focus on the self as well. I just feel that, in
Right.
that way. So,
All right. Well, we have Sue, who is asking if you can give her a reading. Do you
okay,
know
just
her name, or are you
oh
picking
no,
up?
that's okay. Look, just to have a specific question with this one, because I kind of feel I need to ask that for some reason, because I see kind of question marks with her, like a lot.
Right. Okay. We'll have to wait for Sue to answer. This is the only thing, because we've only got a chat room. It's not as though it's a direct
Yeah. Oh,
phone
okay.
line.
Yeah. Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And and I always kind of when we're doing this work, I'll always tell people that there's no guarantee if spirit can come or if I'm able to connect with spirit sometimes because it's like anything in life. There's times when we're not able to connect with spirit or certain spirits. It just is the way it is sometimes. So, but generally, I think that when spirit do come in, they do try to make themselves known in some level. Then it's kind of up to me to be able to try and distinguish that in some form by trying to connect with them or give them that evidence. So it's not always kind of straightforward sometimes when we do this. It's sometimes it flows really well, and then there's times when we have to work very hard at making it happen, I guess. So it's different all the time.
well, I'm amazed because see, all of these people are lining up, and you're doing a great job. We okay. Let me see. Sue's saying her name is Sue. We know that. I think she means his name was Joe, but Barry was asking Sue whether you had a specific question. But no,
Oh
she's
yeah.
wanting to make contact with Joe if possible.
Oh, okay. Look, I feel with this, the name of Joe that's coming forward, I get a sense of somebody that's got a really kind of, I don't know, not crazy personality, but somebody that's got a sense of fun, somebody that's kind of had this sense of trying to look on the bright side of life, no matter what life threw at them. But I guess get the sense towards the end of the life, there's somebody that kind of physically struggled, and also I don't know if there's a bit of a mental challenge there in some sort of way towards the end. But I get the sense of kind of struggling in that sense as well. But as you talk about the name that's coming forward, I just get the sense of I'm there at peace type of feeling. I'm okay, I'm at peace, and I'm back to my old self again. So I've got this smile back on my face, and I can have fun, I can joke, and I can also run around again, sort of thing. So for me, it's that physical sense where in their life at some stage, perhaps it's towards the end, that they weren't able to physically do as much as they were used to be able to do, and not so physically active, I feel. But I know they come forward now, like large as life, and they're happy, and it's like the sense to saying, I can do whatever I want to do now. I can breathe again. I can just be myself, and know that I'm really at peace with myself now, and I've kind of found my own little bit of happiness again. So, and that's what I feel this is just that little brief connection is about in some sort of way. And they kind of want to raise a glass to you as well to say cheers, and we're celebrating you as well. And they're talking about some sort of birthday that must be very close or just gone or just coming up too. So there is that sense of that for you as well. So, I just feel like it was just that brief message to know, I'm home, I'm at peace again, but I'm 100% back to my old self again, and I can do whatever I want to do where I am, sort of thing, and physically there's no restraints, or there's no mental restraints, there's nothing. It's like they're free to be really happy within themselves, sort of thing. So I just feel that's just a short message with that, to be honest with that one.
Right, I hope that helps Sue, because her husband did have difficulties before he left this world.
Yeah. Okay. And he would have had. I don't know if this is the same person, but I feel too. I've got this issue with my breathing with him, or wheeziness with him as well towards the end of his life in some way. That kind of thing. So there was something to do with this. I feel restriction or something like this around this gentleman. But I certainly know he comes in kind of literally large as life now, and he's really back to his old self. He's happy again, and he's kind of making jokes and that type of thing. So I think he had that personality. So,
yeah. All right, well, we might get some feedback from Sue. Now, Michaela wants to say hello to you, and she now Sue's saying yes, birthday 30th of the 8th.
Yeah, and it's certainly coming up. I feel like it's coming up. So
Right. All right. Now, do you mind if we go to a male? John is very keen to have a reading. He's wondering if there's any information for he or his family.
Oh, okay. So look, when as soon as you mention the name of John, I've got this overwhelming sense of needing to kind of reevaluate where we are with what we want to do, and I've seen plans in my mind. So that tells me there's great plans that we want to put together to move forward, and it's something to do with finance and also business with this side of it as well. So I've got this sense of wanting to make plans and make them happen, and there's this sense of sometimes, as we always say, sometimes we don't know what will happen until we give something a go. So I kind of feel in some respects it's about just having a go at something and trusting with what you've been feeling for some time to make the changes on either a work front or a business situation as well. So I certainly feel there's this sense of change coming for you in that way. And it's about being brave to make that decision and move forward with that as well. And I know also from the spirit side, I do pick up on a gentleman and a lady. I've got a lady and a gentleman both coming in together from the spirit side. Now, I don't feel like they were perhaps on the same side of the family, but I know they're coming together to connect with all of you for some reason, and it's a gentleman I feel that wants to come forward to kind of connect with yourself in some sort of way. Now I know this gentleman's there. He's quite a tall, slim sort of man as well, and I see him as really not a bad looking man in his time when he was here on the earth plane too. Somebody that was kind of well kept, very nicely dressed sort of man, and he was a really nice man too. He had, not only did he look nice, but also he had this sense, he had a really good personality as well, and I feel he's very much a family man when he comes forward, but he just comes forward now, I feel, to kind of say that, he's very proud of you. So whatever that means to you, he wants to say that to you now. Perhaps in life he wasn't able to say that, but I certainly feel now he's able to express himself and show his emotions more than he used to back in the life when he was here on the earth plane. But I just feel like he's there to give you a bit of encouragement, to say, come on, it's time now to look up, be brave and start moving forward and be really happy with what you've got in life as well, because there is this sense of change coming that's going to kind of push you all forward again to be in much better space, and also financially also in a better position as time moves forward as well. I just feel that with you. And also I see some kind of medals with this gentleman, whether they were his or passed down to him. So I kind of feel I want to go back a bit further with this connection. And there's medals that are around in the family that go back in time as well. So I'm just getting all this that's coming forward from the spirit side to pass on to you. And even the last 12 to 18 months, I sense a female that's also passed around as well, that also just seems to be kind of in the background there at this moment as well. And she's somebody I feel that wants to come in with the sense of I don't know, a bit bossy, a bit pushy, wants to organise everybody and kind of make sure everybody's doing the right thing, sort of in that way. But she just wants to come in to say, I'm okay. I'm very much where I am in the spirit world. I'm fine. I'm happy. And I want you also to move forward with your lives, to kind of put your head back up in the sunshine again, to be happy and smile again as well. So, yeah, I just feel there's just that little brief connection with that one too. So I hope that's okay for you, John.
All right. Now, Sue did say her husband had a bad back. He was almost a cripple.
Okay.
So that's certainly validation for what your message was.
Yeah, because I kind of felt that kind of physical restraints trying to get around type of thing, sort of with that side too. So, and because it is only brief with that connection at this moment, it's very brief with what I get sometimes. But if it makes sense to that person, then that's fine, because it's just trying to open our own mind up to what's been said, I guess.
Right. I love Belinda Brown saying, I'm wondering, do I have some family and friends that have passed still with me? Now that to me brings, because our loved ones are always with us, aren't they?
Yeah, they're with us more often than we realise at times. They'll be with us. Sometimes it's that little voice in the head we might hear, or those thoughts that we're thinking about, sort of thing. And often our loved ones will come in just to kind of give us a few words, whether it's guidance, whether it's comfort. So they're always going to be around us in some form. And also it's the sense that they're there in an instant. It's not like we kind of have to phone them and say, can you come over, sort of thing, because they don't need that. So they're there very, very quickly. So the minute we think about them, often that's because they are there with us in some sort of way. you know, and I certainly feel in this situation as well, it seems to be like a little crowd of people want to come forward to connect in some way. You know, I hear like a bit of a, I'm not saying a party going on, but there is a sense of everybody coming together from the spirit side to draw close with yourself as well. And it's talking about either celebrating or a time of change for you. It's like you've come through perhaps a low time in your life, and it's a sense now of moving forward, and they're all kind of cheering you on from the other side of life in that sort of way too. I do feel I've got a female, maybe quite a young lady in the spirit world, and when I say young, I'm not talking about 10 or 11, but I feel perhaps mid to late 20s, early 30s, or that kind of age, I feel, that comes forward from the spirit side to connect. And I know when she comes in, again, it's that sense on a kind of a friendship connection for you also from the spirit side too. And this lady's got fair to blonde hair, I feel, before while she was in this physical world. But she's somebody that certainly never gave up all her life. She's somebody that battled with illness towards the very end of her life. And she talks about the last sort of 7 months was the really tough time for her in that respect, but she kept going until the very end of her life as well. And he must have been either with her or holding a hand, because somebody was holding a hand at the end too, you know, and that would have given her a lot of comfort knowing that they were there for her just towards the end of her life as well. And I want to say Gran. I don't know why I want to say Gran to you, but I want to say Gran rather than Nan. I just got that Gran in my mind as well. So this is obviously an older lady that's coming forward to connect with you also from the spirit side to say, you know, I'm also been around you for some time, and I've been trying to kind of get your attention by doing things around your home to let you know I've been there for you as well. And I don't know whether you sit quite often and you talk to your Gran in your mind, but she talks about having conversations with you in her mind quite often as well. You know, and it seems to be either frustration to do with someone close to yourself in the physical world, or there is a sense of trying to help somebody sort out something in their own life as well. And you're just trying to sift through it all to understand what's going on with that person that's with you in the physical sense. And I feel that Nan or Gran, is there to help you trying to do that as well. So, and there's also a gentleman that was a heavy smoker that's starting to build up beside you as well. So I get a smell of smoke with this man that's also there, that wants to come forward to say hello to you from his side. And there's a name of Jim or James also connected with this connection for you as well. So it seems to be a little crowd of people coming in for you, I feel, you know, but it's more of a sense of kind of coming in to celebrate with you for something. So for me, that tells me there's something on the horizon that you're working towards or making a change with that's going to be so much more beneficial and more positive for you as you start to move forward. So it's a time of celebration and balloons and party hats going on. So that's something that's coming. I feel quite positive with that.
Well, Belinda's saying yes to what you were saying, especially at the beginning. So thank you for that, Barry.
That's okay. That's fine.
Now, Michaela is keen for a reading.
Okay. Okay, so Michaela, let's see what we've got. Okay, look, I feel with Michaela, you know, there is this sense that, you know, when one door shuts, another one opens. So for me, it's the sense that, you know, sometimes it's necessary to shut these doors that no longer serve us in some way, which means also, I guess, keeping people out as well, or pushing people to the side. And I kind of feel this is a little bit of where you are now, as in shutting doors so you can open up new doors again, but to move forward in a much more brighter space and a better energy for yourself as well. So for me, it's that sense that you're kind of turning this corner now back into the light again, as it were, and you're starting to pick yourself up and move forward. But sometimes that comes with challenges, as in kind of letting people go or pushing people to the side, so we can really be more ourselves again and honour ourselves a little bit more too. So I feel in many ways, Michaela, perhaps part of that is now you're starting to do that, and I see a big smile back on your face too, which tells me there's more happiness that's coming as you start to move forward day by day with where you're going in life as well. I do get a sense of a bit of loneliness with you at times as well, and sometimes that loneliness is not necessarily being on your own, but it's being with other people, but feeling a bit different from people in some way, or feeling like a little bit odd, or people treat you in a different sort of way. So I kind of feel that with you, but you know, I think that different is good, and it's always good to be different anyway, you know, because you've got your own mind and you kind of know what you want in life and you know what you believe as well. So for me, that's a wonderful trait that you've got, and that's something you never need to let go of or to change that, you know. And if people don't respect that, then really at the end of the day, it's not your problem. You know, you just have to kind of be with people that resonate with you on the same vibration as yourself as well. So I feel like I said, it's this sense of turning this corner with you into much happier times and being much more, I guess, more content within yourself again as you start to kind of let people go, but allow yourself to move forward and being in your own space as well. So it's a time of kind of good changes that are there for you too, but it's like you're putting the hard work in yourself to make everything happen in a nice way for you as well. So I just feel that with you too. So like I didn't feel like I got anybody from spirit with that one. It's just more, I think, of a psychic reading, psychic connection for that one. I just felt in that way. So
fabulous. What I love about this opportunity to have you on air, Barry, is the fact that people who might be tuning in for the first time or who are unsure about what happens after we leave this life, I'm trusting that the validation that people are giving to these readings will help people who are unsure about readings, because readings can give so much comfort. I feel that when loved ones leave, obviously we're going to grieve. It depends though how we grieve. And when we know that they're living on and they're really happy, especially those who've struggled in life here, they leave all of that physical stuff. They leave all of that and they're pain-free and they're happy. And it is comforting.
It is, you know. And it's wonderful to know that, because, you know, you hear all kinds of weird, wonderful stories that people get told when they go for a reading, you know, and I've seen it quite recently in places where someone has put a picture up of somebody on Facebook, and if someone's got a message for them and somebody gets told that we can't connect with them because they're lost in spirit, sort of thing, and this kind of stuff, which is total nonsense, because we never get lost in spirit. You know, we all go back home to spirit world, no matter who we are, no matter what we've done. You know, and we just go to that kind of level that we've made for ourselves while we're here in this life. So it's about energy and vibrations that we go to, you know. So when we go back home to spirit, we don't have those physical restraints anymore. You know, we don't have that ego trying to control us. We don't have the physical challenges of the body breaking down, you know, because we don't have a physical body as such. You know, there's no disease up there because we don't have a body to get diseased in. You know, like I said, the mind's not the same, you know, and we see things so clearly in the spirit world too, you know. And I think that often when we go back home to spirit, that's the time when, you know, people talk about karma and things like this. And I'm not saying we get karma when we go back home, but what we do is we kind of have a rerun of our lives when we go back home to spirit. And then we start to see the things that we've done well, and also the things that we didn't do so well. And the things we didn't do well and how we affected other people, is that we feel that on a much deeper level, because we're seeing it more from a spiritual aspect rather than an egotistical one. So we feel it much deeper. You know, so often when we go back home, there is none of those restraints. And up in the spirit world, we can't hide who we are either. You know, everybody can see who we really are by our colours around us, by our aura, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, we're still going to be that same person when we leave here as well in some ways. But we do go home, you know, we go back home safely to spirit, onto the level that we've created for ourselves when we're here. But it's always safe, it's loving, it's caring, it's compassionate. You know, so, and that's where we go when we leave this world. And as you say, when we do this work, some of that is about trying to prove that survival by evidence that comes through in some way, you know. And if we're able to do that, that helps people through that grieving process in some way. And as you know, grieving is individual to everybody. There's no right or wrong to grieving. It just is the way it is for each individual. But I think if we know that our loved one is no longer suffering and they're home safe with their loved ones, then that I think goes a little way to help reassure us that, you know, they are okay, they're no longer suffering, they're happy, and they're very much alive. And that helps perhaps put our mind at rest just that little bit too in some way, you know. So, and that's a wonderful thing to be able to do, you know, in so many ways. It really is. And what a thing to look forward to in that respect.
Yes. Now, Barry, I would like to remind people that they can reach out to you. You have a website. and Facebook. So can you repeat those, please? Because I
Yeah,
know
sure.
John
Yeah.
has a couple of questions, and I feel that we've got 2 people still waiting for reading. So if you've already had one and you've still got more questions, please reach out to Barry.
Yeah, you can send me a message. Yeah. Yeah, my Facebook page is Barry Gray Medium, and my website is www.barrygraymedium.com. Easy.
Very, very easy, and it's Gray,
AY.
Barry
Yeah.
Gray. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been called worse.
Belinda has very positive feedback. She's the heavy smoker was her dad, and her nan was the biggest blessing in her life. My relationship is not great with my own mum, and I know my nan would love us to reconnect.
Yeah. It takes 2, as you know, with that side, and I think too with her nan, she comes in with that sense that because she was probably family orientated herself and took place of mum in some respects, she would love nothing more than that to happen, but she'd also understand the reasons why perhaps that won't happen too, but she's just saying too, there's a bit of stubbornness in with that as well along the line, a bit of stubbornness thrown in there too, that's not going to make it that easy anyway in some way. Yeah,
Right.
kind of said that.
And Elaine, you picked up the mateship that between her sister and herself. So
yeah, and it is like it's not always the sister love that comes in, but it's that mateship we also have with our siblings. It's that close connection that we have with them too that often comes through in that way. Because sometimes we can misinterpret what we get by just the feel of something, and like father may come through, but it could be father-in-law. But to me, it feels like father. It's the same thing in some respects. So sometimes we can misinterpret that feeling, I guess. So reading's never going to be 100%. In that way.
Well, you were spot on the money there. So good on you.
Oh, that's good to know.
Lane is wondering if her dad will come through.
Okay, yeah. Look, I see a man. If this is her father starting to build up already, I see a gentleman that kind of is either sitting a lot or he spent a lot of time sitting towards the later part of his life in some sort of way too. But I see somebody also that has so much stubbornness about him too. Somebody that if you tried to kind of get him to do something, or he would do it if he wanted to do it, but if he didn't want to do it, then you're not going to get him to shift, sort of thing. So I feel he had that stubbornness too, but also he's got this look about him that could have been a bit of a larrikin sometimes. Somebody liked a bit of fun, liked a bit of a joke in their own sort of way, But I see somebody certainly in the physical sense sitting down a lot in the later part of his life in trying to have time out to do his best. But one of the things he shows me now from the spirit side is that he wants to take me outside into a lovely, beautiful garden that he's got in the spirit side. So that for me is something that either he loved when he was here, or that's something that he always wanted to have on some way. But I know from the spirit side, he just brings that forward now. And he says, I've got my garden, I've got my piece of heaven, as he calls it. And he's very happy in that side of things as well. And I see him a very sociable man as well, somebody that's quite sociable in many ways. There was a lot of people around him on the earth plane that loved him or liked him, and he just comes forward now from a spirit side, still being that kind of man, very, very, very much a social sort of man, I feel, with him as well. And he's dressed there now. He's got a lovely, beautiful sort of blue, a very light blue shirt on, a dress shirt. That's what I see with him. So for me, that's the sense that, he would always dress up for the occasion. Like he'd always be well presented, whether it was work or personal, whatever. He would always dress a certain way for that. But it shows me there with a blue shirt on in some sort of way. And I wouldn't be surprised if perhaps that's what we dressed him in when we at his funeral or that sort of thing, because that's what he puts on into my mind to pass on to you as well. But I do see him also very tired towards the end in some respects, like mentally tired as well and physically tired towards the end of his life too. But there is that sense he's still got a bit of fun about him. He's got his old self back again, and he's got that fun, he's got that laughter, he's got that cheekiness also about him as well. I do get a sense of weight loss with him towards the end through illness of some kind. I see that with him as well from back in his day when he was here, but certainly now I know where he is. He's free, he's happy, and he just wants to come through to give you such a big hug, and he wants to kind of pinch your cheeks on your face as well, type of thing. So this is something I think he even would have done at some time, and I know he wants to do that to you now from his side of life as well. So yeah, so Yeah, I hope that's okay for you, Elaine. I've just got that kind of, just a little connection there for you in that way.
Lovely. And we have Milena, who is interested in a reading.
Okay, let's see what we've got from Milena.
What, with people, I have been told in the past, Barry, that when we're wanting a reading, or if we've booked a reading with someone, to think about the people who we would like to come through. Does that help?
Yeah, look, sometimes it can help. Sometimes it can help in that way, and sometimes it doesn't. So again, it's just kind of whatever happens each time, really, in some respects. But often once I've connected to somebody through a name or a voice, generally it's not so. It generally can flow quite well or very strongly. So it just depends with each individual person. But it can help sometimes when we think about somebody on the spirit side in that sort of way. But yeah, I'm just trying to feel what I've got around here, because I've got nothing at the moment with this connection. I'm just trying to figure out, because there's somebody that's starting to build up. I'm just trying to figure it out. Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Can I give you feedback from Lane, or is that going to confuse things?
No, that's okay. No, that's fine.
Wow. Lane says, "Whoa, you were spot on. Thank you very much."
Oh, thank you for
the feedback. We don't actually know why he passed away, but he did lose some weight and was very tired towards the end. He passed suddenly, and we don't have a reason.
Okay, yeah. Look, I sometimes, especially with men, they don't always say what's going on. They just kind of plod along, and men have got this thing where, I'll be all right, and that kind of thing. So I feel perhaps there's a bit of that thrown in there too with this man in some way, but I still feel like I've got some kind of issue with my chest area with this man on some level towards the very end. So, if it's a quick passing, then I wouldn't be surprised whether it's kind of an aneurysm or something like that. I've just got that kind of feeling with this side too. But I know this man comes in there with a sense that, like I said, he's at peace, he's happy, and he wants to certainly give hugs to his girl. That's what he said. We'll give hugs to my girl, sort of thing is what he wants to do that.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, so I still can't get nothing for you, the lady you just mentioned. I still can't quite get anything there. Elena, yeah. Look, the only thing I'm feeling at the moment is that, sometimes some people kind of try so hard, but things never kind of quite click together for them in some ways. And I kind of feel that's a bit of what's happening here in some respects, that, I'm working very hard, I'm doing my best, I'm a good person. I don't understand why things are not quite clicking together for me in some sort of way, and I kind of feel a little bit like that is with this connection I've got with Milena in some sort of respects. But to me, I feel like she's a very hardworking person and somebody always tries her best at life. But life doesn't always seem to be fair for some people. And it's like, and I feel she might be one of those people that's been going through that tough time where I'm questioning everything, because why me and why is it happening to me and that kind of thing. So I just feel that's going on with this person in some respects. But I do feel I've got a lady from the spirit world that's starting to sort of build up around this connection as well. And this lady that's started to come forward, she's an older lady from the spirit world when she comes in. And I feel too, I don't know if that's your mum or your mother's mum, because I've got mother in my mind, but it might just be me that's doing that. But I know this lady comes forward on mum's side of the family. And again, it's like either I passed perhaps still young or still in the prime of my life in some way, but I get a sense of somebody that still had a lot of life left in them, and they were taken very suddenly from this world into the next world in some way. So I feel like there's a very, very quick passing in that respect too. But this lady certainly comes in there with a sense of fondness for you, and the sense that she's there also kind of trying to help calm you down a little bit and calm your mind down enough to think a little bit clearer about what you're trying to do to sift through everything that's going on with the challenges that are also going on around you as well. And there must be a little baby that's just come into the world, because she's just been showing me another baby, and a baby that's either coming or is just coming to the family around you as well. So she just brings this forward for you. But I just feel like it's that sense of frustration, trying to work and do my best with life, but life never seems to work out the way that you'd like it to in some respects. But I feel like as time goes on, the next sort of 3 months is going to be a time of change where you will find that things are going to be much more positive for you, and you're going to find that your life will start to pick up again. And I see some of that frustration slowly falling to the side, so you can breathe a bit of fresh air again and kind of be a little bit more relaxed within yourself your life as well. So there wasn't a very strong connection, that one, but that's just what I felt with that, and that's all I could give with what I got at that time with that one. So
well done. Now, John brought up the question of he and his wife were married recently. Were any of their families there? And that brings me to the point where are our loved ones, I'm sure that they are at very special events.
oh yeah, look, they'll never miss an opportunity like that. They're always going to be there in spirit to be part of that. And you know, sometimes it can happen where they can actually kind of show themselves in a photo, whether it's just a face or something like that. Sometimes it can happen that way. If they're able to do that, I'm sure they will do everything they can to let us know that they are there in some sort of way, you know. So I certainly feel they would never miss an opportunity like that, to be there in that sort of way. And I'm sure there would have been like a nice little crowd from the spirit world at the wedding sort of thing, with that side too, you know, because I know with that connection, I certainly got the sound of music coming in. So for me, that's a sense of celebration, party time. So that obviously says they were all part of this time when it went on in some sort of way as well. So certainly, like you said, they'll never miss an opportunity, you know, because it's all about love. It's all about still being together in some way. And if they're able to do that spiritually, then that's what they will do, to be part of that, you know. They'll never miss an opportunity to be there. Except they don't drink. Except they don't drink.
And Belinda's saying, I love that everyone upstairs are celebrating me coming into my own happy self. It fills my heart with so much joy knowing that.
Yeah, you know, because I think with Elaine, you know, like we all go through struggles, and it's like she's kind of, I don't know, she's starting to change herself, I feel, in some way. So for me, it's the sense that she's really is becoming herself, and, you know, the spirit world, the loved ones know that they've always seen what she's really like inside, and she's starting to radiate that a lot more. That's what I feel. So for me, it's that sense that they're really happy that she's really, really becoming true to herself as well in that way. So yeah, I totally understand that.
Right. Well, Barry, I would like to thank you ever so much for coming back. It's so wonderful to have you back on Angel Heart Radio. And I know that you're going to be a regular with Annette and Carol Ann on a Friday morning in Australian time. So, and I believe you start with them next week.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that, you know, and this is going to be like, it's not just about readings, but it's also about perhaps sharing knowledge as well, and understanding, and, you know, and that sort of thing. So it's about people bringing their questions about anything and everything, I guess, as part of that too.
Right. Yes, because some people, well, I believe we all have a gift to a point. We all have intuition, and it's a matter of whether we want to work at something to bring it forward. And as you intimated at the beginning, sometimes we're not encouraged. You know, this is seen as, I don't know, airy fairy, you know, oh, no. Yeah. Life doesn't go on.
Work. Yeah. All of that. Oh, look, yeah, we do. You know, we get kind of labelled a certain way. We get labelled crackpots, mind readers, whatever you want to, you know, all kinds of weird and wonderful things, you know. But to me, it's like, why would it be the devil's work or bad if you're helping somebody, you know, with what you do, sort of thing, you know? So that's the way I look at it. You know, if you're doing good for somebody, then it can't be bad, you know, in that sort of way.
Absolutely. Well, I know that you've brought comfort to people today, and I encourage people to reach out to you, Barry Gray Medium on Facebook, or
www.barrygray.medium.com.
Right, thank you. So it's just .com at the end?
Yes, it is, yeah.
All right. And of course, people can find you now on Angel Heart Radio, which is very, very exciting.
Yes, it is. Wonderful.
So thank you very, very much to our audience today. And the best part of all of this is that we can revisit this show, as we can all of our shows on Angel Heart Radio. Go to Angel Heart Radio Facebook page, and there you will find the plethora of shows that we present. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very, very much, Barry.
Thank you. Thanks, Annette. You're welcome. Thank you to your listeners.